Good morning, all, and happy Sunday. Today we will be talking about this access policy manager. And as usual, people can hear me. Is it possible for you to hear me? Or any problems you face? Hello.
Ramnath, you're audible.
Okay, then thank you. Thank you very much. So last week I was talking about something on cyber attacks, methods, like what type of the attacks will be happening, and a little bit of like protection and avoidance. Like I was talking. And there were so many requirements has come up for that. Actually, people are asking about that. When we'll be starting the sessions and all, like, is it breaking? Hello? Is it okay now? Maybe my connection may not be good. So is it okay now or how? Can you see that? Issue with me only. I don't know. I don't understand. Anyway, maybe like, let me continue. So last week I was talking about that, cyber attacks, cyber attack methods, ransomware, malware, like a lot of the other things which we talk about that. So there are so many people has come back and asking me like when we'll be starting the sessions or something. It's possible I will be taking the sessions on cyber security. But cyber security is a vast subject. Everything cannot be so covered. There are many type of, some of the certifications are available. Based on that certifications, I'll be, like conducting the sessions like CompTIA has got a certifications, and CEH is that is a certified ethical hacker, like that. So based on those, like the topics I will be discussing on that, you can contact me on that. That's not an issue. And today we will be talking about this access policy manager. Big IP, everyone knows that is an F5. F5 is a company name like that. Big IP, they changed it like F5, something like that. So they are in the market for last 20 years, like more than that also, I guess. And they were very good, famous with quite, like their products are very good on the LTM and the GTM and the ASM. LTM means a local traffic manager. GTM means it's a global traffic manager that is used for the DNS management alone. Then it's an ASM, application security manager. That is for like a firewalls and, like that will be doing some layer 4 to layer 7. That is a WAF, we'll be talking about that. Web application firewalls. So these are all the products which they were come up with that inbuilt on the F5 box itself. We can activate that modules and to work on that. Like one more module is called as an access policy manager. This access policy manager, why do we require that? What sort of like help it will be doing for a business for to run that in the production size? And what all the features are installed in this one? How do we activate this particular module and how do you work on this? How it be useful for the end users like that? So we were talking about ASM means it's like an application security manager like that. So it will be protecting the customers to not getting attacked by the ransomware and malware and other things like worms and viruses and other things. Like that LTM will be doing the local traffic management. It is like more of a load balancing skills that will be doing that. And it like web server management, like web servers and web logic things, Apache web servers, like so many web servers which will be doing on application servers, database servers, FTP servers, which we can able to make the load balancing solutions are possible through the LTM. LTM when you configure the LTM manager. There are a lot of LTM products are available in the market. Like if Fortinet also come up with that ADC, application delivery controller, it is called this. And the Citrix net load balancer is already been there. That is called the NetScaler. And the 810 load balancer and like VMware has got some other product as well. Like so many local traffic managers are available in the cloud. If you go there in the AWS cloud, Azure cloud, and the Google cloud, they have their own load balancers are inbuilt in that. It's like a software load balancer. We can configure that and we can make that balancing things, but we will not be getting much of that, the load balancing methods like that. Algorithms which we cannot able to do most of them. So we require third-party solutions to do all these things. So that is about LTM. GTM is like a global traffic manager. When you try accessing a website, we are actually accessing by the name of it, like a facebook.com. Facebook.com means it will be like So many servers are in the world, like all over the world, they are in the presence of facebook.com. How does your query has been, like translated and it has been sent it to the nearest server, nearest to facebook.com server, like maybe the content will be coming up from the original locations. And your login and other authorization passwords and everything will be done from the centralized locations or something. So it will be redirecting the, like nearby the solutions by the GTM. That is a GTM. The GTM is a very vast subject again. Without a GTM, no, the websites can run on the internet. GTM in the sense it's a product name, like a global traffic manager, means like a DNS management. So the DNS management has also been done by many other third-party solutions as well, but FI has got a good name in that. So LTM, GTM, and ASM. ASM is Application Security Manager. That is talking about that more of an WAF, like what the firewalls cannot do, conventional, traditional firewalls cannot do. That can be done by this ASM and other products. Now Cisco FTD is also been there. And Juniper has got some SRX firewalls, which you can do on a layer 4 to layer 7s. Palo Alto has got a very good solutions on this. Many of our customers are using that Palo Alto solutions for WAF solutions like that. So many kind of, WAF which we are getting on the market, but which one is a good one? Like what kind of a support we are getting there, and how is our threat intelligence has been updated, and what is the customer is actually preferring, which is the easy way for them to managing the things so easily, troubleshooting and other things. So we will see seeing the most of the features like this only. So we will be recommending the product to the customers. Right? So one more product is called as an APM. They call it as an APM. APM means Access Policy Manager. Access Policy Manager. Peter is saying that the voice is not clear. What about other people? Anybody else? Could you please tell me? Your voice is breaking out, not able to concentrate. Same here. Oh. One second. Let me check it out. Guess my network connection is having some kind of a problems nowadays. It is going on. Maybe like here and there it will be coming up. Please bear it with me. I don't know how do I solve this problem, because it is my geo connection which is making the problems nowadays. It's getting stabilized in between, but sometimes it is going out of the like things. Like let me share it again. Guess now it be okay for you guys, I guess. Is that okay? Or in between it is going off, something like that? You can speak, no problem. You can unmute your mic and talk to me, no issues. Okay, anyway, I will continue that. Anyway, I'm going to record all these things to the local computer, so I'll share it with you guys anyway. So Access Policy Manager is another product which has been coming up with the big IP. So this Access Policy Manager, how do we configure that? What are the ways of configuring this Access Policy Managers? And what do we do with that? And what are the configuration? No problem, tolerable through. Okay, no problem, thank you. And Access Policy Manager, it's not easier like LTM or GTM. GTM is a harder one anyway. ASM is very harder. And APM is also not so easy. Like it's a very heavy technical product that we need to get proper training for to do these configurations of this APM and other things. So we are going to configure this through the GUI mostly, and we will be checking and verifying with the CLI commands sometimes, and also like that. So we will be doing this APM. I guess the connection is going out now. Don't know what I can do with this. Anyway, so APM is like the way we will be configuring it through the GUI. There is a graphical user interface. We'll be configuring that, and we'll be checking this thing with the CLI commands on this. Mostly like we'll be working on GUI only. It's easier for us to configure. It is like a flowchart. It will be creating that flowchart in the sense it will be giving the, like the way the packets are getting, accessed, and the people are getting the login authentication has been happened, and what are the resources they are going to access it through this APM, like that Access Policy Manager. I can just compare it with like that, like an access list which we are writing on the Cisco routers. Means like certain people will be accessing this, certain people are denied to access this one. When the authentication is successful, you can get into that server and you can see the contents in that. Like that, many other things which we are going to configure on this access policy manager. And it's like a tree structure it will be giving them. The people will be having the start button and they'll be going into the login page. In the login page, they need to provide their username and password. After the login page, it will go to that local DB authentications. In the DB authentications, which has been done, that can be done with the AD or LDAP authentication, we can make that. Once it has been done, then they will be going through that, accessing the, either they will be checking with their own firewalls inside the computers, like because when they are accessing the inside corporate servers or something, they should not come up with the virus or something like that. So it will be checking in your own PC that the client PCs, it will be checking the firewalls and virus solutions on this. Once it has been passed through, then they will be given an access to that access that is called as a resource accesses. They can make that access towards the access policy manager like that. So this is like a more of, general idea I just given that. And this can be done with a corporate network like that. We will be giving the one-stop solution for accessing all the servers in one page like that. In the sense, we'll be creating the icons for that. When they would like to log into their RDP, means like a remote desktop protocol. When they try to come through the RDP, they will have a connection to the web servers, like, the Windows servers or something like that. They can do the SSH connection to the Linux servers. And they can access their application servers as well, database servers as well. Like all the servers will be given on a certain page. In that page, from that page, they can just click on and they can go ahead and continue accessing all these things on this. So that is the way that APM has been installed on this. And APM can be configured along with an LTM itself. We can have multiple servers as well. We can do the pool node management, and we can do the round robin or many other load balancing methods as well we can do on this. So access policy manager is a high funder, definitely. And many other companies have started using their access policy manager already. And it is like that more of an intranet connection when we try to give it to the customers. And to the customers in the sense like our employees or the third-party solutions, like when it is coming up, like when you are giving a solutions to the customers like that. So we can recommend this access policy manager product. And it is coming up with the proper security as well, security built in. And so we don't need to worry about that, what things will happen when people are coming up with the unsecured environment. Because nowadays the WH is very common for that. Work from home is very common for all the people. So when they're coming inside, what kind of a packet they may be coming up with that, like what sort of a request they are coming up with that. It may be altered through the internet, it may be reaching our corporate servers. So the APM will be in a position to check it out everything and filtering all these things. And it will be giving the access to the backend servers for that. So this is like very short, brief discussion, description I given about the APM policy manager. We will go through this policy manager in detail. Let me run this slides. Then you will be coming to that. Access policy manager is a secure, flexible, high performance access management proxy solution, directing the global access to your network, the cloud, applications, and application programming interfaces, APIs. Through a single management interface, BIG-IP APM consolidates remote, mobile, network, virtual web, and API access. With a BIG-IP APM, you can create, enforce, and centralize a simple, dynamic, intelligent application access policies for all your apps, regardless of where and how they are posted. That is what. We can give a remote solutions for the people who are trying to access it through the, like APM. And bridging the secure access to all applications. Modern authentication and authorization protocols, including security assertion markup language, SAML, and OAuth, and with the OpenID Connect. Reduce the user dependency on passwords, increase security, and improve the user experience and productivity. However, not all applications support modern authentication and authorization methods, protocols. It also makes it difficult to adapt modern corporate password management and hygiene policies, and increases the organizational costs as it becomes necessary to require and manage multiple access methods. BIG-IP APM serves as a bridge between the modern and classic authentication and authorization protocols and methods. For application unable to support modern authentication and authorization protocols like SAML, SAML, we just saying that security assertion markup language, and OAuth with the OIDC, but which do support classic authentication methods like Kerberos and header-based authentication, Big IP APM converts the user's credential to the appropriate authentication standard to application supports. Like that, nowadays it has become so much of a cloud environment we are facing that. In the cloud, we are doing a lot of developments and applications and other things are happening. Means like end user also accessing it, programmers also accessing it. So the APM will be the perfect gateway for to access the resources in the cloud itself. Like instead of creating the each and every, like the rights and permissions for that, we can make it like a group or something. So SAML activation is possible through the big IP. I have some, labs which we have done on that. I can show it to you on this one. So big IP APM ensures that users, organizations can use the SSO. SSO means single sign-on, and any application anywhere, regardless of its location, on premises, in a data center, in a private cloud, or in the public cloud as a native cloud or SaaS application, or whether or not it supports a modern or classical authentication or authorization. This decreases the number of passwords users have to create, remember, and use, which helps stem the tide of credential-based attacks. It is not only the password manager. Don't think about it as a password manager or something. Password manager is also one of the, one of the features I can just say that in this one. It keep the passwords on this. We can create the users and passwords over here. It will be the security. With one password, they'll be able to access multiple solutions in your corporate environment. Enables compliance with the modern corporate policies like periodic password changes that help combat stolen credentials. It also decreases the cost of having to purchase and maintain the separate access solutions for applications that do not or cannot support modern authentication methods. What are the key benefits we'll see? Simplify access to all applications, bridge secure access to on-premises and the cloud apps with a single login via SSO. It even works for applications unable to support the modern authentication such as security assertion markup language or OAuth and OpenID Connect. Zero trust application access. Identity aware proxy delivers a zero trust for operational model for application access based on the identity awareness and granular context, securing every app access request without the need for a VPN. You don't require a VPN at all. Secure web access, control access to the web-based applications and web content centralized authentication, authorization and the endpoint inspection via web app Proxy. Centralize and manage access control. Consolidate the management of the remote, mobile, network, virtual, web, and API access in a single control interface with adaptive identity federation, SSO, MFA, multi-factor authentication via the dynamically enforced and context-based and identity-aware policies. Defend your weakest links, protect your APIs, do it all at the scale, streamline the authentication and authorization, like that we've seen that SSO, MFA, and SAML and other things. Protect against the data loss and malware and other things. SOAP APIs, REST and Swagger and other things. We can work with that, protecting the APIs. Like that, we can do many other things with the key benefits on the APM. Integration with an IAM and IDaaS. IAM is nothing but identity and access management, which we do it on the we will be creating the users and giving the proper rights to the particular services has to be accessed on the every other cloud. In for example, I can just say about somebody is asking if a web application load balancer, does it support zero trust policy engine? Yes, it is possible. For that, we can configure that. We require to have a proper license for that. FIASM can do better things. But this is actually for a web application access only, it has been giving that. So we may have to integrate that FIASM along with this like APM to have the perfect what is the security for that, zero trust. With support of SSO and Kerberos ticketing across the multiple domains, Big IP APM enables additional type of authentication such as US Federal Management Access Cards, IDaaS, that is a Microsoft Azure Active Directory, and Okta and others, to access all applications regardless of location or support for modern authentication and authorization. These are all very much becoming very much in demand because of the cloud operating system has been come up. So everybody is trying to put their own data and the very sensible and critical data on the, like sensitive and critical data on the cloud itself. So accessing the cloud from anywhere it is possible nowadays. That is what the cloud means. Like what is the basic, like current undercurrent thing is like they can access the cloud from anywhere. When we are accessing from anywhere, in the sense, the security becomes a very much risk. When you're sitting in an office, corporate office, you're accessing in the sense everything has been protected. You are going through the firewall rules and policies and everything. But when you try to access an application, similar application on the cloud from the home or from a bus stand or from airport or something like that, there makes a lot of sense. So there we require all this, checking mechanism and other things. For instance, users can be automatically signed on backend applications and services that part of Kerberos Ream. This provides a seamless authentication flow once a user has been authenticated through supported user authentication mechanism. BigIP APM also supports smart cards with the credential providers, so users can connect their devices to their network before signing in. FI partners with the leading on-premises and the cloud-based identity access management vendors, such as Microsoft Okta Ping Identity. This integration enables a local and remote user SSO via SAML, OAuth, and FIDO2. These applications based on the on-premises or in a data center for organizations that do not wish to replicate their user credentials stored in a cloud with the IDaaS or cloud-based IAM offerings. Working with the partners, FI and BigAPM work to help these organizations maintain the control on-premises user credentials. Is a cloud operating system different than a regular OS? Cloud operating system in the sense I'm talking about AWS, and Microsoft and other people like Azure, that is in cloud OS. Okay, and the next, integration with the IAM and IDaaS. This is what where our FI is sitting down here. So this is a directory services you can see, and this is an on-premises IDaaS, identity as a service. Here it is coming, and initiative cloud or SaaS applications, directory services they will be accessing. SAML, this is the BigIP APM sitting down here. Physical or virtual, you can configure. Yeah, BigIP APM is available on both, like physical connections as well as physical boxes or as well as the virtual boxes, we can have that. Then all things are there. Access based on the SAP, Classic, and PeopleSoft, line of business, custom, so many things which we can do that. So people are coming from here, like, and they entering into that through the APM, they will be getting authenticated or something. They will be accessing these all resources. Actually, VPN is not required once you did the APM on this one. Okay, the next one, simplifying secure authentication. BigIP APM also integrates the most leading MFA solutions. That is from DO, that is a Cisco, Okta, and Azure Active Directory and others. By integrating with your existing MFA solutions, enables adaptive authentication, allowing various forms of single to multi-factor authentications employed. If needed, BigIP APM also can do one-time password authentication via email or SMS. We can configure that. So by like putting your OTP number on this, so you are getting authenticated on this. And BigIP APM supports SSO across both remote access and web applications with a single login for either Apple Mac or Microsoft Windows devices. Organizations can support a user login via U2F tokens, Ubiquitous keys, something like that. Is also possible. BigIP APM enables you to apply customized access policies across many applications, gain centralized visibility for your organization's environment. You can consolidate with your AAA infrastructure, eliminate the redundant tiers, and simplify the management to reduce the capital and operating expenses. Zero trust application access. Zero trust approach to security means adopting a mindset that attackers have already infiltrated your network and are lurking, waiting for an opportunity to trigger the launch to their attack. The zero trust approach applies the least privilege rights to the user access, allowing users access rights only to the applications and resources they need to complete their task, and no more. Identity and context awareness also what define identity aware proxy. IAP enables secure access to specific applications by leveraging a fine-grained approach to user authentication and authorization. IAP enables only per request application access, which is very different from the broad network access approach of VPNs that apply session-based access, which is not a zero trust approach. BigIP APM enforces access authentication using access control lists and authorizes the users with the dynamically applied layer 4 and layer 7 ACLs per session. Both L4 and L7 ACLs are supported based on the posture of the user's devices as a policy enforcement point. Individual and group access to the approved applications and networks is allowed by APM. Dynamic per session, it is possible. Next, identity aware proxy. This is going to identify the user So how does it differentiate from the IAM or like a AD login or something like that? We'll see that. Access Guard, a browser extension that coordinates with the IP APM. Identity aware proxy, zero trust validation model in each and every application request. Centralizes the user identity and authorization based on the least privilege. It can be created verifying the user identity. Okay, it is verifying the user identity, checking the device and posture, validate user authorization, confirm application integrity and sensitivity, and confirm the time, date, and accessibility. Limit or halt access if the user's location as a device posture is deemed to be incorrect, inappropriate, and insecure. I feel like we will be getting that the Gmail will be saying that you are not logging from the normal device, conventional device, where you are actually always been, like login from the device or something. That kind of, the security mechanism can be activated. Request additional form of authentication, that is an MFA, and much more. We have the OTP login also, it is possible on this. And the identity aware proxy, how does it work? You'll see that. This is a third party UBA, and this is the users and devices on this. The people who are coming from mobile, Mac and Windows, they are coming inside. This is your big IP APM, and it authenticates the people to go inside to the IDaaS provider, cloud, AWS, Azure, and Google. And it is going to the normal applications which you are doing that. And it can do the third party also, like it can be integrating all this things. So this is your identity aware proxy. It's a proxy only. Next one, risk-based access using third-party risk engines, that is called as a HTTP connector. Many organizations have deployed third-party user and entity behavior analytic or risk engines. The ability to leverage an existing UBA or risk engine to infuse real-time analytics and risk data within access control policies can help organizations ensure that access to the network, clouds, application, and even APIs are regulated based on risk profile. It is also important to address a risk-based access to the network, cloud, apps, and APIs triggered variety of relevant variables. Through HTTP connector, APM integrates seamlessly with the third-party UBA and risk engines, leveraging the risk assessment via the REST APIs. Part of it, the policy-based access control. This enables the risk-based access to the network, cloud, apps, and APIs, further enhancing the APM's zero trust IAP solution. Big IP APM HTTP connector leverages group, domain, and network-based triggers and so on, so like that. Unifying access from any device that we seen that from your mobile you are accessing, from the tab you are accessing, from the laptop you are accessing, from your server you are accessing, from your home you are accessing, like that. So creates a dynamic web-based application portal or a web top. The web top shows and enables access only to the applications authorized for and available for a user based on their identity and context, regardless of where the applications are hosted on premises, in a data center, private cloud, public cloud, or offer as a service. The dynamic user-specific application portal or web top simplifies application access and enhances the user experience. Big IP APM enables secure access applications, networks, clouds via the Big IP Edge client and FI access. It's like a normal VPN client which we can use it. Edge client is available for Mac OS, Windows, Linux platform, and Chromebooks. FI access is an optional mobile client for ensuring the secure access from the mobile devices supporting Apple iOS, Google Android, and available for download from the Apple Store or Google Play. The dynamic split tunneling capability provides a simple way to administrators to dynamically exclude Zoom, Microsoft 365, and WebEx traffic through the APM, like creating the tunnel for you. Visual policy editor. This is a beautiful feature actually. Through this, we will be able to get that how the things are being monitored, how the things are getting configured, how things are going. It's like a flowchart diagram like that it goes. The graphical visual policy editor makes designing and managing granular access control policies on an individual or group basis fast and simple. With the VPE, you can efficiently edit dynamic access policies in just few clicks. Big IP APM's VPE can define rules per URL path, centralizing, simplifying management and contextual policies. It can efficiently direct fine-grained user access to the application network and clouds. Let you design policies for authentication, authorization, as well as endpoint security checks, enforcing user compliance with the corporate policies and industry regulations. One access profile may be defined for all connections coming from any device, or you can create multiple access profiles for different access methods from the various devices. It can be used, create, modify, manage ACLs quickly and easily. This is what the policy editor is there. Starting, it's getting like a fallback. This is a antivirus and other firewall solutions. When it is successful, they will go to the AD login, Active Directory login. When it is successful, they will go and get the resources assigned for them. And it is allowing like that. So it's like an access list only. When the antivirus or firewall is getting failure, then they will be going through the different cycle for that. Then fallback, then it is the login page, they need to do that, then SSO credential on this one. Like that, there is a different way of accessing the people for this. So this is one of the APM demo. This is one of another one, like login page, AD authentication, AD query. When it is successful, then it is goes as a successful on this. Then you'll be accessing the resources. So like we will be configuring this. This plus symbol has been used for to activate the certain applications for the people to get access on this. So once you configuring the APM, you will be feeling it very easily. But when you try to finish this, all these things, when you try to access it, like hell lot of problems I faced a lot, because I just working on last 2 to 3 weeks on this one, because we are activating it for one of our clients over this. SSO authentication, AD authentication, LDAP authentications, and cloud connectors like AWS connectors, Microsoft Azure connector. From here we can connect to that, and the authentication will be done through the AD, as well as the IAM. We can do that. We can create a SAML account on the IAM on the like there is a roles which we can create on an AWS. That role can be assigned to a person who is logging in as that, and we can do the development on the AWS cloud on this. Facebook also we can do that. Developers.facebook.com. When you go to that, then you can create your own projects on the Facebook itself. That connection also it is possible through this visual policy editor on FIAPM. It's a very high and on very much a technical thing. It takes a hell lot of time for you to understand things and to do that all once and for all like that. When you start doing this only, you'll be able to understand it, because it is very hard to like analyze and acquiring this knowledge of it by just reading or something. If somebody is teaching you, somebody is giving you the like knowledge transfer or something like that, then you'll be able to do this one. Even though it is looking like it's more of a GUI based, but there are so many settings are there, menu based options are there. We need to select by very carefully analyzing, and we are doing that. Okay, next one, access gated configuration. When people are facing the problem like that manually, when they try to configure the VPE, like it is a visual policy editor or something, there is one more automated feature called as AGC, that is access gated configuration. This simplifies the deployment and management of application services. AGC gates administrators through the step-by-step process of setting up and deploying the APM, saving your organization deployment time and cost. Definitely. Very simple things which we can do it with the AGC, but not all things. Like for cloud connections and all, we use this AGC, and sometimes we have to do the manual thing also. AGC also empowers administrators quickly and simply onboard, operationally manage the integration of classic mission critical applications such as SAP ERP, Oracle PeopleSoft, Oracle e-business suite, Oracle JD Edwards, and Microsoft Azure AD. And AGC eliminates the numerous steps previously required for a bridge the gap between the applications that support a modern authentication and apps that support a classic authentication methods, greatly reducing the administrative overhead involved in modernizing those applications. This is like an AGC. We can have that access, like under the access thing, which you can see that gated configuration. Through that, we will be able to make many other things on this. Cloud connections, AWS connections, third-party application connections, which we can make that. So it will be giving the menu-based options very easily. You can configure that one. You don't need to remember the steps for to configure like. Centralized access policy management. Multiple deployments, big IP APM, big IQ, centralized management will efficiently manage them. It manages policies for up to 100 big IP APM instances, enabling you to import, compare, edit, update granular access policies across multiple user devices. With the big IQ, centralized management, and big IP APM, you can import configurations from a master source. This is for simplifying the management purpose later. So you can easily view the differences between the current and proposed access configurations. There's a centralized like policy management. This comes from here and it's getting deployed over here, and there is something like that, VPN production, something like that it goes. Access policies. This is from the big IQ. Big IQ is the centralized policy management. Enhanced visibility and reporting. This is very much possible like that we can have customizes the report and granular data and statistics for intelligent reporting and analysis. Examples: access failure, users connection, how many users connected to that, what all the resources are getting accessed on this, how much is the group usage is happening, IP geolocation, from which part of the world, geographical location also we can find out by the IP. And it will be giving you the name of the country from there accessing on this. So that is also possible. Integration of Big IP with the Azure AD. This is for Microsoft Cloud AD. AD delivers trusted enterprise identity services that also provides a single sign-on and multi-factor authentication to help protect from users 99% cybersecurity attacks. And AD supports more than 2,800 pre-integrated SaaS applications, including 365, Google Apps, Salesforce. For many organizations, Azure AD is already trusted identity source for connecting their workforce, partners, and customers. FI and Azure AD integrations bridges the identity gap between the public cloud and SaaS applications that support modern authentication, such as SAML, OIDC, OAuth, and Kerberos, Radius, many things. APM and Azure AD work seamlessly together to federate user identity and ease the user authentication and authorization to enterprise applications wherever they are hosted. Organizations can apply Azure AD conditional access policies, leverage identity protection engine to detect sign-in risk and manage. Many things can be done. This is how the APM and Azure AD is working on. Azure AD SAML IDP, identity, like identity provider, something like that it goes. And the SaaS applications, they are connecting to this physical or Big IP APM directory services. They are accessing the apps on this. PeopleSoft, SAP ERP, custom applications, like that. This is how they do that. And Azure can be done through these gated configurations on this. The configuration box is here like this. With this, it's AGC, means like applied gated configurations, application gated configurations on this. So it's very easy for you to configure that Azure AD integration with the APM. Unparalleled flexibility, high performance, and scalability. It delivers flexible application network and cloud services, keeping your users productive and enabling your organizations, so on, so something like that. So it can be installed, deployed as an add-on module for Big IP LTM to protect public-facing applications. One of the ways that we can deploy this, one way is like along with the LTM integration. Another one is like that delivered as a standalone Big IP appliance or a standalone FI VPRIAN cases, and included Big IP LTM edition, virtual edition, and to deliver the flexible applications access in the virtualized environment, run on high-end virtual edition and the high-performance virtual editions offered on Turbo SSL platform. So we can get physical access, physical appliance, as well as we'll be getting the virtual appliances also. And it can be integrated in any of the cloud provider. It is possible. APMs are available. What are the features? While running the standalone bundled Big IP platform module VPRIAN Chassis Blade, it's like a TMOS operating system. They have that. APM features, access policies. These are all the policies which we have. Full proxy, granular policy, creating, managing identity, policy routing, identity and context-based layer 4 to layer 7, risk-based access, configurable timeouts, DNS cache proxy, IP geolocation, visual policy editor, beautiful thing this is, and compatible with the JavaScript parser. So many other things which are installed. We will see some more features. Authentication and authorization support, which we talked about that already. SAML, OAuth, and OIDC. Kerberos SSO and Secure ID. RSA token is also available. Support on the FI access from the Android and iOS. Step up the authentication support. Artifact binding. Thus, these are all we have seen that already. OTP authentication, another thing you can do with that. And it can work with your Cisco as well as the Microsoft Azure directory, Active Directory. Identity aware proxy, zero trust application access. Supports IAP enabling the zero trust, enables the per request application access, continuous endpoint integrity and security checks, integrates Microsoft Azure Active Directory conditional access, like this. Some more things are continuing. Identity and SSO. SSO, we've seen that single sign-on. Remote access, SSL VPN, always connected. Windows OS login, Big IP Edge client with that. API protection, we can have that. And this is a FIDO and other things are there. Application tunnels, VPN without a browser plugins, support dynamic and split tunneling, API protection. It is supporting the rate limiting the API requests. Many things are done on this one. Then some more things, simplified administrative experience. Access gated configuration. This was I was telling that for ease of operations, we can use this. And it being configurations through the AGC for SAP, IRP, JD Edwards and other thing. Extra login page support is available. IPv6 ready. Style sheets are available for you. This is what the encryption we are getting, the AES 128. Scalability up to 2 million concurrent access sessions, it's possible. Growing the ecosystem. There is all web browser support and IDaaS, it's identity as a service with an Okta and Microsoft Azure. VMware Workspace ONE, that is an AirWatch. Microsoft Intune and seamlessly integrating the third-party MFA, OIDC, Okta, Windows Mission of certificate support, and Windows Credential Manager integrations. So all sort of a security authentication is also possible now. So that's all. This is about the access policy manager. And I will be showing you that some are a small lab on this one also. Prior to that, if you have any questions, you can ask me now. I can able to answer your questions regarding any of the courses on this. This FI APM also, I am trying to make it out by the next month or something because some of the labs are still left out. I'll be making it ready. Around 70% of the labs are ready now for the APM. So you can start with like a sessions or something. APM is also growing up in the market, like the people are asking about APMs nowadays. I'm getting the very much, the requirements for the corporate sessions on APMs need to be taken. So because it's a very riskier thing, because it is being done on a very heavier organizations, and corporates will be using the APM for single point of access for the people to give on to that. So FI APM, you cannot take it so directly on this one. You require the Ltm Basics for that, first of all. You require the F5, how the FI installations on this, how do we download the virtual machines, platform from the FI trials on this one. We can have a 30 days evaluation copy available for the virtual editions. You can download that and you can install it in a VMware environment. VMware workstation also we can install it, or we can install it in the ESXi platform. And once you install it, it doesn't take much memory, around 6 GB you can allocate that, it's nice. Ltm basics are very much required. You need to create the nodes and pools and creating the VIPs and understanding the methods of the the load balancing algorithms and all. You just need to see that. And F5 knowledge is required. So knowledge in the sense how the partitions are done for that. What is a hard disk 1, hard disk 2? How do you upgrade the things now? And how do you configure the VLANs inside F5 VLANs? Configuring the inside outside management and HA, high availability VLANs. These are all basic things which you require for that. Before that, you require to have the proper networking knowledge. That I will not be omitting that. At least a 5 to 6 years of the experience on the industry, the people who they are having that minimum, they are working on around 6 years on the network environment, firewall environment, load balancer environment, and they have done some active troubleshooting on this all networks as well, corporate networks as well. Like that, they can go for this APM. They cannot jump directly to the APM. It's not possible. You need to start from the LTM. First, local traffic manager has to be done. FI LTM. Once you do that, then you can come to this access policy manager, because this is a very high funnel. It talks about the authentications and authorization. That is something about the cyber security and other things on this. Then it will be talking about the cloud authentications as well. Cloud integrations. You require a cloud knowledge. Either AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. You should be knowing a proper knowledge on this. Then user creations and giving the rights and permissions to the people. Like that, this comes under the sysadmin knowledge. Like if you have worked on a Active Directory, or if you worked on a LDAP or something. LDAP is on a Linux platform, lightweight directory access protocol. How the authentication has been made, how the multi-factor authentication can be configured, how do you configure the OTP and other things. So overall knowledge of the server management systems as well. Server administration, if you have done that, it's nice. Then security is required. Local traffic manager, that is nothing but a load balancing skills is required. Firewalling, NATing and other things, SNAT, DNAT, other things required. Then you require a very important thing, that is a cloud-based knowledge is required. Cloud, you should be working as an administrator of case. So database is very much required because we are creating a local DB authentication as well. or we can make it like an AD authentication for that. Integration need to be done. Interfaces need to be properly configured for that. So many things are involved in this. That's why I'm saying that at least 5 to 6 years experience in the industry on a networking, core networking, if you've done on that, you can come and, recruit yourself for the APM sessions as well. But I would like to strongly recommend that please go through the FI materials as well. 101, 201 exams are there. Basically, how the FI is working, because FI is a quite good name in the market for them. So you need to have at least one load balance skill you require. So why don't you take the FI? Take the FI, LTM, you study that. GTM may not be required because GTM is mostly based on like cloud service providers or internet service provider environment. You require that. If you know about the web application firewalls, if you worked on any Palo Alto or Checkpoint or 49 or any other firewalls, it's required. So many things you require to come to this access policy manager. So it's a bit harder because it is a new platform and new commands and new kind of screens which you're going to see there, how you're configuring all these things and verifying all these things and all. So it don't take it like so easily like this. So I'm getting a lot of requirements, like the people are asking me like whether I can go for it, because I post myself like that. I can talk on LTM, GTM and ASM as well in A5. So they ask about APM. Why don't you take the APM also? So I just prepared this, and some of the customers also started like asking on this. So I made this one. So as usual, if you have any questions, you can ask me on APM or any other courses if you like to have, like a cloud courses, networking or firewalling, anything you can ask me. I will be able to give you the answers for that. You can put the query on your chat box, Zoom chat box, you can put that. And as usual, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is in your screen. You can see that. You can send a mail to me, instructor@gmail.com, and you can talk to me on or WhatsApp me on this number which is on your screen. So if no questions from your side, I would like to show you a small lab, which is a very huge one. Everything is a huge in APM, but I would like to show you a small lab on the APM, how I did configure on this. Yeah, somebody is asking something. Difference between the APM and our WAF. APM is a policy manager. Okay, it is for accessing, it's access given for the policy. It's not a WAF. WAF is got completely under the cybersecurity environment only. We can use a WAF. That is protecting your resources, like multi-factor authentication and other things. WAF is one part of it, one part of APM, I can just say. But APM's primary job is completely different from the WAF. Then you will come to know that when you are studying about the APM, what APM is doing and what WAF is doing. WAF is a complete firewall solutions. Like firewalling stops at a layer 4. WAF starts from the layer 4 to layer 7. Like that. So it is an enhanced firewall, you can just say. But APM is for more of an authentications, like giving the access to the cloud-based, ERP-based and other things. It's more of like, access policies. It has been creating all this. Virtual policy editor will be using that like that. But WAF is mostly like your hacking, spamming and other things which we are protecting our network from the different type of attacks which you will be creating. That is a different one. So let me go to that APM, the machine. Can APM work as a reverse proxy? Yes, possible. We can configure it like it's possible. We can do that. And let me go back to that APM. Sorry, what happened? Okay, that's good. Nice. So let me start my VMware workstation. Please be with me because this APM takes at least 2 to 3 minutes to get ready. So I will be starting this my, API environment. Big IP 16, the version I just downloaded that. Let me start this guy. And it will be taking that. So let me get started on this one. Big IP latest version is the 16. You can even use many other things as well. It's possible. But in our production, we are running the 12, something like that. The version, Big IP version is 12. We are running on this. And 13, 14 also there in the market somewhere. People are installing the 14. Big IP OS version I'm talking about. Now I just installed the 16 because I wanted to solve all sort of problems. Like previous bugs and other things are getting fixed on this one. So I just given on this. So as usual, you require this APM need to get installed on this. Means a big IP. How much memory I given, I'll show you. Until then, I just show you that. This is a 6 GB I given, 6144 MB, and 2 processors. Hard disk is one just 80 GB, and 4 adapters I configured. It's for management and inside, outside, and DMZ, like that you can just configure this. 4 network adapters, nothing else is required actually. Minimum you require around 6 GB or 8 GB if you give that, it's nice, because my PC is only 16. Because we need to start some kind of Windows environments on this one to check and like verifications and other things. I need to run the web server, I have to run the application server, then I had to make the cloud connection to that. So I just given the 6 GB, it is running. Now let me log into this. Please mute your mic. Somebody, it is inoperative. It takes time. It takes a lot of time for it to come up in this. Big IP, I'm working from the version 11 onwards. Big IP TMOS version 11, 12. Actually, there is not much difference in that, but they fixed a lot of bugs on the previous issues as well. Like screens enlarging and reductions, and access logins on this one, and giving some multiple authentications on this, because the 16 is required for us to change all the default password. It doesn't allow the default password to run on that. We can run it with the default password until the 14 or something. Yes. But 16 is asking us to change all the passwords altogether. It's coming inoperative standalone. So it should be coming like an active standalone. Then only I will be able to log into that GUI to configure that APM. Access Policy Manager. If you like to run multiple modules inside the same big IP box, in the sense you require to provide more memory to that. LTM can run with a minimum 4 GB. You activate GTM means 6 is required. ASM requires at least 8 GB, because it is doing a lot of firewall solutions as well. These are all the things which I am doing. The 12 is also there with me. It's all Fortinet. I tried that. It's still inoperative. You should be very much, say, patient for the things to get started, because it is, like loading multiple modules at same time. So it takes time. Something happening. Restarting the named. Restarting named. Named is nothing but name resolutions, daemon service. So I given a name like big IP APM to ramnet.local. It's a name which is given. EAM down standalone. It will become as an active standalone. So it may take at least 3 minutes for us to wait to see that active, so that we can log into that. OAuth is down. EAM is down. AVRD is down. Many other domains are getting down, and they will get started on this automatically inside. Now it has become active standalone. So let me go back to the browser. Then I log into that. So this is as usual, admin and other things. Passwords are there. I log into this. Loading the page. See, I taken a 30 days evaluation copy. So it's very easy for us. Resource provisioning. Just go there. So in this one, I just activated the APM. Yeah, you can just see that APM is a nominal. Only that is available. LTM, you can add. LTM is automatically activated. Management is activated. Another, if you would like to have that application security, you can activate that. Global policy will be here somewhere. Yeah, global traffic. This also I can activate. It's all licensed. But this APM is a limited, it's saying. So we cannot do the full feature on this one on the 30 days evaluation copy. See that license? There's a license. So August 25th, I made it. Until September 25th, it is available on the same year. So these are all the modules are an active modules, means actively in the license of 30 days evaluation license, we have this all modules are created on this. So let me go back to this. So what are the new things on this one? I'll just show you. Here, the wizards are there. In this wizard, we can configure that. Network access and setup wizard, portal access setup wizard, web application access management via for the local traffic virtual service, we can create on this one. And here we will be having the access. This is the access policy manager. This particular section is an access policy manager. We'll go with an open overview of the active sessions, access reports, OAuth reports, SWO, and other things are there. Profiles we will be creating from here. All the policies we will be creating here, and policy syncing, customization we can go with it. Authentication can be done with this much of radius, LDAP, Active Directory, Secure ID, HTTP, local user DB, TACAX, radius, Kerberos, NTLM, many things are there on this. This is ephemeral authentication, and this is for a single sign-on. HTTP basic, NTLM V1, V2, form-based, OAuth, bearer, like that. Federation. Here the federation comes with all the SAML characters on this. External SP connectors, external LDP, IDP means identity provider, like that. Here we will be creating the AWS connections, Azure AD connections, like that we can make that. Connectivity VPN, this is for a VPN connections, we can use this. Connectivity, like that, we can create a profiles here, network access, VPNs, application tunnels, Microsoft Exchange connection, portal access we'll create. This is a portal access, sorry. Through this portal access, we'll be able to work with that. API protection profile we'll create. Secure the web gateway, like this. Access control list we can create. Web tops, this is the one that people will be accessing from the outside. When you create a web top, they will be getting in the browser that they can go and click that. So they will be accessing the service on this, backend services on that one. So let me go with this web application on this one for you, like that. So you can just read this description. Configure authentication and access control for web application behind a local traffic virtual server. Create an access policy for new or existing local traffic virtual server to provide authentication access control and endpoint security for our web applications, like this. So this is what has been going to do with this one. Or I can create a portal access, or I can create a network access. This is for a VPN creation. Let us go with this one, web application things. Next. So here it is asking that create a virtual server via the wizard, or we use an existing virtual server. Here you can see the steps which are coming up. It's very easy for us to do the guided configuration. You can take it like that. Let us create now. Let's give the policy name. It's a Zoom demo. Let me make it as like Zoom demo, and default languages and language is English. SSO configuration, let it be. Enable the client side checks. Antivirus, it's not required. If you require that your clients are coming in with some kind of virus embedded environment, in the sense, you can activate that, but it may take some time for a client checking and other things. For demo purpose, I am removing it. You can activate it anytime you want, later also. Let's go to the next. Here we will be giving the authentication for this, authentication options, creating the new one. What all authentications are available? Radius, LDAP, Active Directory, Secure ID, HTTP, OSCP responder, or CRLDP. Here for this demo, I'm going with no authentication as well. Okay, just like the people who can directly access for this, but actually it is not required. It is not recommended. We need to give either Active Directory or LDAP. Let's go to the next one. Here it will be going the SSO options. SSO will be the HTTP basic or form based NTLM1 to Kerberos, like that. Let it go with the HTTP basics on this. The next. Here it is an HTTPS server. It's like a virtual IP, a virtual server. We just need to create that. What is the server which we can create? Well, create it like a 10.2.2.180. Something like that. I'll just create And the pool member, I'll give it like 10.2.2.137. That is my web server 137. I'll let it give. Let me do it. This is a 180 is a server which I'm going to create on this virtual server. Next. This is a reviewing the configurations. Next, to complete the configuration steps, profile name is Zoom demo. Default language is English. And enable antivirus check, that is disabled. Full web top is disabled. And the type is no authentication at all. Authentication type. Virtual server options. Create a new HTTPS server, that is a VIP server, it is created. Virtual server IP address is a 180. The people will be accessing this server. And inside what they are going to access it, they will be accessing this pool member. This is a CentOS box. I'll have to activate this now. I'll start the server now. Creating the redirect. If the persons are accessing from the HTTP only, instead of typing the HTTPS, so the VIP will redirect to the HTTPS, giving the more secure environment. SSO method is HTTP basic. Then I'll go to the next. Yes, I clicked on next. Now it is loading, receiving the configuration from data from your device. Now this has been done. So these are all the things are getting created on this. It's a 180. And this is a demo pool is created and SSO is enabled. Like if I say finished, my policy is ready. You know, like I'll just go and check it out on the local traffic. What all the virtual servers are created. This is what I created. I guess what is the name? Where is the Zoom? It should be on the second page maybe. Yeah, it is here. Zoom demo VS, something like that. It has been there. This is what the, you know, like the VIP which I'll be accessing it from the outside. I do one thing. I'll have to start the CentOS server also. I'll start the CentOS server. This is a web server that people are accessing from the outside to inside like that. So they will be able to access this. Let it get started first. It's a CentOS web server. It's a free open source platform which I downloaded, and we can configure it like a web server for this one. Once it has been started, I'm just showing you the home page of this web server on this. Let me log into this. Yeah, this is a password I just entered. Let me see what is the IP address I got, 10.2.137. If you like to check whether my web server is working or not, I can just check it like this. Call is like CURL. So this is the one, web server 2 via the FI APM, like that. The server is running now. I'll start my Windows XP. It's very easy for, it doesn't take much memory as well. So I'm using this for checking all the, you know, like access through the APM and ASM and LTM and other things. It's getting started. Let us be wait. Once I've been authenticated properly, then I'll be able to get this one. Like I'll be getting the page. HTTPS page, I just need to access it from the web browser. On this one, everything is done through the browsing only, browsing environment. So let me log into this. Now I log in. Let me see what is the IP address which I got there. So I should be on the same subnet of it. Check my IP. Okay, 161 is my IP. So let me go and start the Firefox. So I will be accessing here the VIP 10.2.2.180. That is what I just need to access. Your connection is not secure because it is a self-signed certificate. I just need to go and proceed it. Add the exception, permanently save this. Then I'll get into this page. My policy has come here. So I just need to log in here. Like, let me go with an administrator. Ines Sridhar. Then again. So you see that. Welcome to web server 2 via F5 APM like that, which I got that. So this is a very basic thing which I shown you on APM. Okay, it's not the fullest thing which I shown that. There is a heavy kind of the other things which you can see that once. Let me show you the policies. This is a policy access Zoom demo. Here, if you just say, let me go to that virtual policy editor, visual policy editor, I'll show you that. So this is what starting and fallback. It's a login page. Then SSO credential mapping. Then it is allowing. Login page is nothing but this will be looking like this. So come to that. Welcome to that secure login FI network. That's what we are seeing. SSO credential mapping. This is what the mapping is being done. So SSO means like I am configuring through that. I have created my local DB auth. Through that local DB auth authentication method, I've been logging into this server. I've been logging into this box. So let me do one thing. Let me clear that history. Then I'll open the private window and I'll access it again. 10.2.1.80 like this. So I'll have to log into this. Then once I log into that only, then I'll be able to access that server. See that. It's not like the free things like in the LTM and all, LTM based environment. Once you log into that, once you click that VIP, in the sense you are very freely to access that one. Like, but that is not here. You just need to log into that to see all the policies as well on this. We'll show you some other policies as well. Okay. Let me come back here. Some of the web UI policy, just see that. I'll show you this policy. It's a very bigger one. AD access, let me show you. You see that login page, AD authentication is happening, then SSO credential mapping, then it is allowing on this. So like that, very many things which we can create on this. If I show you the client OS like that, then let me go for an editing. Just see this. This is a very bigger one. If you want, I can make it magnifier, then I will show you. It's easy for you to see that. You see that. This is how it's been starting from that. Start login page, then local DB auth. When it is successful, it will go to the client OS. If it is a Windows, client OS is Windows means it will go for an antivirus. When antivirus checking is being done, then it will check the firewall, local firewall and things. Once it is successful means the people can access the advanced resource assigned, which is assigned for Windows. Then it is allowing them. If the client is DB authentication has been done properly, then the client OS is Linux in the sense they directly go to that. There is no antivirus checking for them. Advanced resource assigned for Linux. Then they will go and they will access this one. Let me push my mouse here, allowing it's allowing actually. So like that, we can create multiple policies. And if the person is not actually been able to log in successful, then locked user out. Means the person will be out, then he will be given a not allow. That is nothing but the deny. He'll be denying. Once it is successful, he will get into the resource assigned for Windows people, he will be allowed. Once Linux is also allowed in the sense, he'll be allowed like that. So we will be able to create a multiple policies like this. But here we'll just need to do that here in this place. Here we'll be accessing all this. So like so many things which we can do on this, and the local traffic, you need that virtual server list on this. And so many virtual servers I created on this. Zoom on, I will show you. So this is a Zoom DM. We just now created the virtual server. Here it is like IP address which I configured 180. These are all automatically done because we have the wizard which is configuring it for us. We are not doing it anything manually. Everything is been selected. HTTP profile, client SSL, and VLAN mapping and source address translations. And the profile is a Zoom demo. It is automatically selected. Like that, everything will be selected. We are using the wizard. That's why we are using the wizard. Wizard will be making the job done within 1 or 2 minutes for us. You don't need to worry about for that. Okay, so I shown you a lot of things for you today. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. And as usual, I require your email addresses so that I can send you this PPTs and recordings to your email addresses. Can I have your email addresses from you, please? You can put your email addresses on the Zoom box, Zoom chat box. And if you have any questions, you can ask me anytime. And I will be conducting this APM sessions a short while from now, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, maybe taking that. So people are there. Hello. Yeah, Peter has given that mail address. And other people also can be giving it. In next half an hour, I'll be sending you this all to the where to access and how to see that and other things. You can watch this one on the YouTube also. I'll be uploading this video into the YouTube in next half an hour. You can inform your friends, colleagues, and like relatives and the friends and other people, like they can come back and they see it my own channel. It's a free one. They can see everything. And you can contact me for any sessions if you're looking for that. I do also carry out the corporate sessions as well. If any of your company requires a corporate sessions or something, you can contact me directly on this numbers and the email. Only 2 people has given the email address. Why? So I'll be sending you only the necessary information. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. Thanks for the sessions. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the sessions. People are attending today and Sunday. And it is a Teachers' Day in India. So let us be happy with the happy Teachers' Day for all. Okay. Thank you very much for joining today. And as usual, I'll be coming up with the new sessions, new topics on next Sunday. As usual, I'll be coming up. And please inform my channel to the peoples of yours. And please introduce my channel to your friends and other peoples. You can discuss those things. You can come back to me anytime for any kind of access, any kind of a help on any kind of network solutions problems as well. Okay, so everyone has given the email address. I'm going to close this meeting. Who all given? Amit has given, Peter has given, only 2 people has given them. Okay, then let me come back to you guys on this, any other sessions which are coming up in the later, coming up in the next week or something. So let us meet by next week. Thanks for everyone who joined today. Thanks all. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.